Thank you. Director Kornze, could you tell me what the role of the Resource Advisory Councils are?
Resource Advisory Councils play an important role in terms of they're folks that we sit down with usually 2, 3, 4 times a year. We go out on tours. We bring them, as somebody put it to me recently, inside the tent, and we show them the processes we're working through. We show them the tough questions we're asking. We're able to consult with them in a way on an ongoing basis that's meaningful for us and that is over and above some of the. It washes away some of the restrictions we have with members of the public, right?
Well, that's a concern I have. We know what they're supposed to do, but in a letter last month to you, I listed some of the concerns we have coming out of Arizona about the proposed rule. One of the things that I found most troubling was that I heard from the Arizona Resource Advisory Council that the proposed rule was not brought up by the BLM or discussed at any of their meetings prior to being promulgated in September. I received a letter from you yesterday that detailed the interaction that BLM's had with the Arizona R-Ariz. It consisted of an initial communication 2 years ago, another providing a fact sheet after the proposed rule was published, and then an invitation to a webinar during the public comment period. Is that sufficient interaction? Is that using the R-Ariz as it was intended?
Well, we have had what we think is some fairly good engagement with the RAC in Arizona, and we've taken a number of other approaches to get word out about this proposal. I myself have spoken to the National Association of Counties at least 3 times in the last few years, heavily focused on this issue. Some of my deputies have done similar engagement. We've been to the North American Wildlife Conference. We've sat down with Western Governors Association. We've had webinars. All of this information is available online. We've recorded. We've broadcast. We have had. We have some limited resources. So have we been everywhere in every town? We have not. But have we done, I think, a significant and honest outreach with the basic questions of how do we improve our planning process? We have. And have we taken that input and turned it into a product? We have, and that's where we are today. So the additional information that we have from the Arizona RAC, from other state RACs, is very valuable to us and is going to continue to shape this proposal as it moves forward.
Well, don't you think that it would have been wise before the rule was promulgated to seek some of that input? Because it seems, given the communication that you outlined and what we hear from them, that their advice and counsel wasn't sought in the promulgation or the formulation of the rule. Wouldn't it have been better to have sought their counsel before promulgation of the rule rather than simply informing them, here's what it is, and come to a webinar?
So we are happy to double down on our engagement with the Arizona RAC, and we look forward to hearing their thoughts and concerns.
The purpose is to seek their input before the rule was promulgated. And I think we could have avoided a lot of the substantial negative input that we've received had the RACs been used for their intended purpose. But when, it's a letter 2 years ago providing them the fact sheet after the proposed rule was promulgated, and then an invitation to a webinar, that's it. That's about the only communication that they received. So I don't blame them for feeling left out.
Yeah.
And can you blame them?
Well, I think, if your perspective is that the outreach here could have been better, then I would ask you to think about this rule as an effort for us to formalize making outreach stronger. Right? The point here is to have more upfront engagement so that even before we have a scoping meeting, we've engaged with counties and towns and universities and others, local grazers, citizen scientists, making sure that we're bringing data together and we're having a good conversation about what foundation should we be building this plan upon. So, I'm happy to take criticism about our outreach efforts on this rule, We may disagree about the quality of that outreach, but what this proposed rule is about is making sure that we're talking to folks, local folks, early and often. Because right now, the criticism, they may not be calling Senator Gardner's office, but they call my office. And when I'm out west, I very frequently hear from folks where they say, look, we went to a scoping meeting for your plan, and then you disappeared into a cave for 4 or 5 years. And then suddenly we've got a 1,500-page document on our desk that we have to work through. That's not an ideal process, right? We want folks to feel like they've been with us through multiple steps and that they're part of a live conversation, and that's what we're seeking to give them.
Well, I would just suggest that, I mean, you have this organization, this RAC, that's there for that purpose. Yeah. And it would behoove BLM to reach out while it still matters, while the rule is being formulated, and we could avoid some of the negative feedback that we've received. That's my 2 cents, and I yield back.
Thank you, Senator Flake. Senator Lee.